Hey guys, it's Dan with Adventuring Today. Hope everybody's doing good. Thanks for being here today. So if you remember from my last video that I posted, I've had a really bad experience with these Continental cross-contact LX25 tires, and actually I'm getting them replaced today with the Pirellis. So this last day of driving on these tires, I thought I would do a fuel mileage challenge on my trip to work, and comparing these tires to the Pirellis. Now, I'm going to do this exact same drive again tomorrow, and so I just reset my trip meter, and this is about a 30-mile drive to work, and it's a variety of road conditions, and so this will take me about 45 minutes to get there. This little stretch of road is 55 miles per hour. We're going to turn left up here on a 2-lane kind of curvy road that takes me through a town with a couple of stoplights, but that's it, just 2 stoplights, and that's kind of like town driving, maybe 30-35 miles per hour through there. And then I hop on another 4-lane highway that's about 60 miles per hour. And then once I get through that, I end up on a highway where I'll be driving the speed limit, which is 70 miles per hour. And then when I get to the exit, that's when I'll stop the challenge. And what I'm curious about is comparing the fuel efficiency of my tires that I have on right now, these Continental Cross Contacts, versus the Pirelli Scorpion Verde All Seasons, just to see which one is more efficient. Now, they may be pretty close. There might be a little bit of a difference. I'm not sure, but we will find out. So I'm going to turn left here to get on this next part of the road, and I want to see if you can possibly pick up the humming sound. I might actually cut this out of the video because it might be difficult to pick up, but I'm going to be quiet here in a second and see if you can hear the humming sound coming from these tires. It's just a really annoying background hum. It sounds like there is a propeller plane driving, flying overhead is what it sounds like. Like that sound in the summertime when you're out on your deck having a beer and a plane just comes flying overhead. That's exactly what it sounds like. And these tires have got to go. So anyway, today is the day. Anyway, I'll be back in a couple minutes when I get to that exit, and I'll give you an update for how we did on the fuel mileage challenge, and we will see what the score is. Okay, thanks. All right, so we are about 10 miles into this trip. I am currently averaging, you can see that, about 22 miles per hour, and I'm using the sound noise meter on my Apple Watch, and I'm getting a reading right around 58 when I'm not talking. On these tires, so it'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow. I'll try to do this on this very similar stretch of road, and but so far doing pretty good. Vehicle's getting pretty good gas mileage. I only hit 1 stoplight in that town that I just came through, and now it's pretty much smooth sailing until we get to the end. I'm on this 2-lane road for about another couple miles, and then it turns into 4-lane. The speed picks up a little bit, but it's quite hilly, as you can see. It's pretty hilly terrain around here. These Expeditions do really well on gas mileage. I mean, they really do. I used to have a 2009 Expedition, and this vehicle is getting about 3 miles per gallon better fuel mileage than that one, I would say, overall. That would be in mixed driving. That vehicle averaged about 13.5, and this one is in the 16.5, 17 range in mixed driving. So the smaller engine, the 3.5, that old Expedition had the 5.4 in it with a 6-speed transmission. This is the modern EcoBoost a little more fuel efficient body design. We got the aluminum panels. Vehicle might be a little bit lighter, I guess, but more efficient drivetrain with the 10-speed transmission. And it's definitely more quiet on the inside. Now, my ex-wife still drives that old Expedition that's 11 years old, and I don't know how it's still running, to be honest with you, but you know, it's a testament to Ford and their ability to build a great vehicle. So anyway, all right, I'll be back with you in a couple minutes. Thanks. All right, we're on the highway, about 9 miles to go. So we're 2/3 of the way through this, 1/3 to go. We're at 20.4 miles per gallon. I'm going 70 miles per hour speed limit, and my decibels are around 64 up here on the highway. So I thought that'd be an interesting read to compare these two tires. Anyway, almost there. I'll be back in a sec.
I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this.
All right, guys, we are 29 minutes into this trip, averaging 20.8 miles per gallon, and I thought it would be interesting to just show you, for people that aren't familiar, the fuel history feature that these Ford vehicles come with. So each one of those bars represents a 6-minute interval. So having driven for almost 30 minutes here, that's representing my entire trip so far on that little meter. And so I just think it's an interesting way to see what we just drove through. So, you know, part of that trip where you're seeing these bars a little bit higher is when the speed limit was a little bit lower, and the vehicle was getting, you know, pretty darn good gas mileage, you know, in the maybe 25, 26 miles per gallon. Where you see it at just below 20, that's since I've been on the highway. And so where I'm averaging about, you know, probably 18 or 19 miles per gallon on this highway trek. So I am coming up on my exit here in about a half of a mile. And so just right behind this semi-truck. He's got me slowing down a little bit. Maybe slight advantage to the Continentals here. Getting a little drafting behind this FedEx truck. But hey, these are real world situations, but only been behind this truck here for a little, not even a mile, maybe about a quarter of a mile or something like that, third of a mile. So anyway, but the vehicle is doing pretty good. So our gas mileage as we come up to the exit is just about 21 miles per gallon. So when I come to a stop, that's when we're gonna call it quits on this test. And I'm pulling up to the light. .1. Okay, so we'll remember that, and then tomorrow I will run the new Pirellis on this exact same route. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are doing great this morning on comparison test number 2 here with these Pirelli Scorpion Verde All Seasons. I got my co-pilot with me. Hey, Chaz. So it's our 11-year-old dog. My, I guess technically it's my wife's dog. I've got a black lab at home, so this one I say is hers. But anyway, we're doing pretty good today. So we are about 7 miles into the trip, and we got a little bit heavier traffic today for this comparison test. So this is negatively affecting these tires a little bit. Because I just got caught at that light. I just came through big time, and this second light, which you can see way down in the distance, yesterday See it way down there? Yesterday, I cruised right through that one. With the way it's looking right now, I'm probably going to get caught at this light too. Now, the Expedition has auto start stop on the engine, so I don't think it'll hurt the mileage too much on these tires. But but we're definitely not getting quite as fuel efficient of a run today compared to yesterday. So we'll see here. It's green. Let's see if we can get through it. Okay, guys, just a couple little details about today versus yesterday. So, of course, today I've got the Pirellis on, like I said a few minutes ago. Weather conditions are almost exactly the same. There was no wind yesterday. There's no wind today. Temperatures are almost exactly the same. It's 36 degrees this morning. It was like 33 yesterday. So, very, very consistent there. And I've got everything, all the settings are the same in the truck. We're just in the regular drive mode. And just running in two-wheel drive high. I mean, nothing is different on the truck whatsoever. So I'm trying to keep this as consistent as possible. Like I said earlier, I got caught up at that light a little bit, which may have negatively affected this run a little, but probably not too much. But it was a little bit slower there. We are at the 10-mile mark, and we are clearly getting better fuel mileage than what we got yesterday. Now, let's look at the sound meter and see how we're doing on sound. Give me a quick second here, and I'll get that pulled up on my watch. So we were at the same place in the road yesterday, and I think we're running a very similar sound meter, but the sound is different. I don't have that humming a sound like I did yesterday. These are definitely quieter tires. Yeah, we're running about the same, 58 decibels, so not too bad. Okay, so we're about, like I say, about a third of the way through this. I'll report back at about the 20-mile mark, get a reading, and then I will see you at the end. All right, guys, we're at the 2/3 mark here, 20 miles. We've got just about 9 miles to go until this is over. And doing pretty good. I can't remember where it was yesterday. I'll post it here in the video, but I know that these Pirellis are getting better gas mileage than what the Continentals got yesterday, and this has been a very even and fair test so far. So unless I run into a car accident somewhere along here in the next 7 miles or so, this is a pretty much straight up even test. And, part of the reason why I wanted to do this was to help show people that there could be potential differences in fuel mileage between one tire and another tire, giving everything else being the same. I've got same weather conditions, same loads, same route, very similar traffic. I'm driving the speed limit to keep that a major factor that can determine fuel mileage consistent. So I've got the cruise control set at 70, and we're in a 70 mile per hour speed zone, and I've tried to eliminate all the different variations that could possibly occur in these kind of a test, which is really the big challenge when you do fuel mileage testing. And so I think this is turning out to be a very, very fair comparison. So I'll see if I can near the end of this video work up some numbers on as to the cost beneficial over the course of, let's say, 30,000 miles, maybe 40,000 miles on one tire versus another, and what you would save over that time period. Maybe with a more fuel efficient tire, possibly you actually pay for one of the 4 tires just by going with a more fuel efficient tire. I don't know. I'll have to run the math on that and see if there is a benefit. So anyway, I'll report back here in the next, I got 5 miles to go to our exit, and I'll give you the score, but the Pirellis are looking pretty strong. 63 decibels at highway speed, going 70 miles per hour. I got the cruise control actually set a little bit higher, 71, as I'm trying to get around this semi-truck because my exit is coming up here. So, okay, tires are looking really good from a fuel mileage perspective. Now, a couple just real quick comments as I come up to my exit as far as other things that I'm noticing with these Pirellis is they do ride softer. They are a little bit quieter. I don't have that hum anymore, but the ride is just very plush, smooth. It just the tires are just they're fantastic. They're quiet. They're obviously very fuel efficient. They grip well, and I know from past experiences they've done really well in snowy conditions. So anyway, we're coming up to the exit here, and let's get a reading. But you're not going to believe how much better these tires are. Okay, so we got the light. Let me put the camera down here real quick. Say 23.8 miles per gallon versus 21.1 yesterday. And I could not have this be a more straight up, honest comparison between the two tires. I mean, there's nothing that I could have done to create a better, closer, more fair competition between these tires. I've done everything exactly the same today as I did yesterday. Very, very similar traffic. It's just incredible how much more fuel efficient these Pirellis are. Now, these Pirellis came on an SUV that was a diesel that was geared towards fuel mileage. And, what's interesting is I replaced these Pirellis with some Bridgestones. That vehicle was a lease, and the Pirellis wore out at about 30,000 miles, and I went to Bridgestones. I had to put new tires on it because, I just need to keep the family safe, even though we only had about 9 months to go on the lease. But the Bridgestones never got quite as good a gas mileage as the Pirellis did. And, I'm just thinking back on it right now. Now I know why. Because these tires are so fuel efficient. It's no wonder that a manufacturer who's got a car or vehicle geared towards fuel mileage would put them on that type of an SUV. It was a Mercedes diesel SUV, and it got just great highway mileage, 26, 27, 28 all day long on the highway for a big 3-row SUV. And now all of a sudden I'm noticing a big uptick in fuel mileage in our Expedition. So I think we're going to be really happy with these tires. I wanted to share the results. I'm going to see if I can work up some numbers on a over the long haul cost comparison based on the fuel mileage differences that we got today, which, granted, it's not going to be perfectly apples to apples because this is just mainly a highway run comparison. But at least it'll give you some sort of an idea of fuel savings over the long haul. Anyway, thanks for being here, y'all. And have a good day, and we'll see you soon.
I will stand by you forever, and I won't waste it.